Weekend 4 is a very dusty wrap. We'll get to that in a moment, but we have owned the property now officially for weeks, woot woot, and we have destroyed it. We have actually had 16 working days. So regardless of how long we've owned it, we have worked on it for 16 days. That's important because how long does it take to demo a house is something we're trying to figure out. Hoping that we will be done with all of the demo by the end of this month. So that's 3 more working weekends, but only time will tell. For this weekend though, the biggest, messiest job so far is what we dealt with, and that was removing the tile from the northwest bedroom. It was a beast. We knew it was well installed, but it was also installed with thinset on concrete. Awful, awful stuff. We had to get a rotary hammer. It absolutely did the trick. It's all about having the right tool to get the job done, and the rotary hammer was it. It just took a lot of manpower and muscle, and expect to get extremely dirty when you're doing that, but not as dirty as the next step. So the rotary hammer got rid of the tile, but then we had to go rent a concrete grinder to get that thinset off. And I will share some concrete grinder tips that we have learned because, oh my word, they're just some things that you need to know if you're going to use a concrete grinder. It was awful, and I hope I never have to do that again. But it looks gorgeous. It's going to be the smoothest floor that we have in the house. Now, while we had the grinder, we also went over other areas in the house that you could tell that they re-poured or had cracks just to level the floor out a little bit. We have dust literally everywhere. Chris even is starting a new trend of white mascara, or at least it looks like white mascara. Thanks for following along on the journey. If this is helpful to you or you're entertained by it, make sure that you let me know by thumbs upping the video so that I have an idea if this is of interest to you guys. But definitely subscribe if you want to see the before and afters when we get this monstrosity all made beautiful again. In addition to the tile, which is kind of a one man with some assistance here and there project, we also got all of the carpet removed on the stairs, that was tough too, just because it's time consuming. We plan to reuse those stairs as temporary stairs, so we also had to remove all of the staples or pound in anything that we couldn't get out so that it was safe to use in the future. The vinyl plank flooring and the linoleum and the subfloor are also all gone out of the kitchen. It is a great feeling to have that out. We are actually going to replace the subfloor with a thicker subfloor. So add that to the bottom budget line of things that we didn't know we were going to need to spend money on. Thankfully, the south wall is also completely gone. We got the scaffolding in. It looks great. It works even better, which is really the point. We can tell that the mice did not get to the upper portion of that wall, even though they're rampant in the lower portion of the wall. We think that's due to the massive header that's in that wall. We were also able to remove the portion of the south ceiling in that area to see what in the world is going on, and we did indeed confirm that the roof is leaking. Wah, wah. But now we know, and we can fix it before we put it all back together and then have the problem later. Lastly, we did all sorts of little cleanup, from nail removal. We have found evidence of live mice now in the house, which we hadn't seen before. So there are traps set everywhere. There's a bait station outside. There's still a lot left to do before we can do the spray foam, including electrical, wall rebuilding, etc. But again, we're hoping to get the demo portion out of the way before we start reconstruction. And that's it for right now. Thanks for hanging out with me. We will see you after next weekend.